Awesome. Welcome back to the Compound Growth Marketing Show. I'm here with Quincy today to talk about conversion rate optimization in B2B.
What's up?
So this was a topic that came up in a conversation I was having earlier today, and it's a hill I think I'm willing to die on.
That's saying a lot. You've died on a lot of hills, but is this the main one?
Wait, if I died on a lot of hills, it doesn't mean much. It means I'm going to ride wolf. So what are you trying to say, Quincy?
No, you have a lot of viewpoints that you stand firmly in. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. So when I hear a B2B marketer, performance marketer and B2B talking about conversion rate optimization, I get nervous. The primary experience that I think about when this happens is when I joined a company, and 2 months, I joined actually in January of the year that I joined the company. 2 months after I joined, in their projections, the previous marketing team had put in a like 25% bump in conversion rate to the site that they were going to see, because they were going to start focusing on conversion rate optimization, and all of a sudden that would see this huge bump. So that, I've had a bad taste in my mouth ever since then, because if they could have seen a 25% improvement in conversion rate, why weren't they already doing that? But here's the thing. Conversion rate optimization is similar to the challenge that I have with cost per lead analysis. The lowest cost per lead is not the best cost per lead. Somebody improving your site's conversion rate might not mean that you're going to get better revenue down the line. If you're selling cybersecurity to a high-end audience, to a CISO, that person, if you run an A/B test on your landing page, if you are marketing to a CISO and you are running an A/B test on a landing page in which you are driving people from Google Ads, or you're running an A/B test on the homepage, you might not create the landing page that is going to get the mid-market to enterprise CISO to convert. You may optimize your site, simplify the language, and improve it such that more small businesses are converting. And that may not align with what your sales team is looking to talk to. So in many cases in B2B, a lower conversion rate could actually mean that you're getting more of your target customer in the funnel. And so I would almost ignore conversion rate optimization for companies that are selling a product over $50,000. And I think that when I have done A/B testing in the past, when I was at Workable, when I was at Yesware, the challenges that I got into was this death spiral of data and needing to get enough data, enough leads in the pipeline to understand who converted on what page, but then pay attention down funnel to what actually ended up producing the best leads for me. And so that was the challenge that I've constantly run into with A/B testing. So my belief is that in B2B, conversion rate optimization is partially the website, but it's also the whole marketing and sales buying experience. And so you really need to be thinking about, how can we make step changes, not optimizations, throughout that process in order to improve B2B sales cycles.
Yeah, so what I'm getting out of it, so there is a small importance, like, because you obviously don't want your brand to come off looking like crap, but then like things about like the back end stuff or page speed, like you shouldn't die on that the going into that hill. It should be optimized to where like it's a good experience overall,
right?
But you shouldn't be like, we got to get it faster, or
well, Well, I think I think it is, you're looking for step changes. What are the things that we can do to improve the site? And oftentimes I think that comes from feel and
Yeah.
getting user feedback over A/B testing specific language and kind of trying to figure out what works to what doesn't. Improving the page speed is going to improve it for the enterprise CISO
Yeah.
and the small business owner who's concerned about security on their site. What I am talking about is when you're making slight tweaks to the language or button color, or making changes to a landing page in order to improve your conversion rate. Yes, I think it can be helpful, but I think it is much more complicated than most B2B marketers pay attention to. And in my experience, especially with landing pages, is the best leads that are coming to your site are not coming in from Google, hitting the landing page, signing up a form, and converting. They are the ones who are coming to your site, navigating, looking around, watching a video, reading some customer case studies, and then clicking on the demo button. And my hypothesis, and I think we should do a study on this, Casey, is that the Quincy
It's okay. We were just talking about Casey.
is is that your best leads are more likely to have navigated your site, learned a little bit more about you. And so again, that is another kind of chink in the armor of A/B testing, where you kind of have one page you're trying to get users to convert on. I think it oftentimes you're going to find the quality A/B testing does not help you find the leads that your sales team wants to be talking to.
Yeah, and so I think it, like, from when I come in and I engage with clients who have like awful landing pages, like the things that like I try to enhance first, and it's just as an all up aesthetic thing, is to like you said, kind of tailor the content based on the audience, right? Because like somebody who is like a CISO may look at more data points, may look at more white papers and like research and stay on the page and do those things. But depending on maybe their job title or their seniority, like if they don't have time, like I'm looking at videos and like things like that. But it's all the things that like and also the reasons to believe, like the credibility. Like if I'm looking at a Forbes, I'm constantly reading like those editorials, like those things are going to stand out to me more as an executive, to be like, oh, this is like backed by Forbes, or I know this customer within this sort of segment, big enterprise customer, they're doing the same things you are at a glance. But like the things that I look at is the types of content that each persona may consume, and I just make sure that those are on the page. But as far as like
Right. And
color,
again,
like,
you're not running a multivariate or A/B test.
yeah,
You are kind of learning about the customer, understanding what is going to get them interested in your product, understanding the social proof they're going to need,
yeah,
then launching that page. I think A/B testing could almost be a risk, because if you put free on a page, you're going to get a better conversion rate, right?
yeah,
But that is,
100%.
in B2B, that is not necessarily going to get you the best customer, right? If you say, try it free, or get a free consultation, or not get a free consultation, but you know, getting something for free is not necessarily going to drive the best customers in for you. It's going to be, really targeted language that CISO is interested in. And I think when you run an A/B test, sometimes the page that's going to drive the lower quality leads could win if you're just looking at the conversion rate metric.
Yeah. And then what do you think about things like lowering
So when you're like thinking about designing a page, what are what are the signals to you that you found a really bad landing page?
super long forms? Nobody wants to fill out the super long forms.
Well, hold
This,
on. I mean, somebody who's really interested in your product will fill out a really long form.
Yes, and you can determine that interest by doing an adaptive form. And so like it doesn't take up the whole page, but like as they
Yeah.
answer specific questions, you make an adaptive release and like get more information out of them. So
Okay.
I'll
Yeah.
caveat that.
Yeah.
Um, a missing CTA at the top for me above the fold. Like, what do you eventually? What do you like? Where do you? What's the mission of the page? Like, if that's missing, it's just this spiffy like header image
Yeah.
that I have to scroll all the way down to like figure
Yeah.
out what you want from me. That's kind of the first thing that I do. And then the social proof. Like everybody wants to know, like Amazon did amazing with this. Like people who bought this also bought this. Like
Right.
that. Like we're conditioned for that social proof. And so I think that like if that's missing, I think I'd like to bring that in.
And how do you think about social proof between like the press, influencers these days, B2B influencers, customers, analysts? Like, how are you thinking about what types of social proof a site should be using?
I think the customer social proof is the strongest in my perspective. Like I would say, like if I'm looking at like, oh, this is recommended at, or like I always think of if you use editorial, it's like this as seen on TV thing, like when you're walking
Yeah.
through Walmart or whatever.
Yeah.
And so like I don't trust those as much. And I think you have a stronger attraction when you use customers and like people that you've actually satisfied and like
Yeah.
people that are tangible and that somebody can go out within their network and say, hey, I do know somebody at X and X company, like, hey, what do you guys think about, and then we go into the dark funnel thing, the
Yeah.
recommendation back end stuff.
Yeah. The other thing that turns me off with sites, and you see this a lot with big corporate companies that have multiple products, is like they'll have a try it free button, a demo, a a navigate a an alert bar that's announcing some new product, or register for tickets somewhere, and then they want you to download a report somewhere on their site.
You
And
mean the
those are
ticker? You don't like the ticker?
I like the ticker if there's not a million other things going on the site, but it just feels to me like you're getting the field marketing events team into the room, the product marketing team, the creative team, the demand generation team, sales, and the CEO all working on that site, all requesting one call to action at one point. And you really need to refine and understand like what is going to drive the most value for
Yeah.
these people. Like you see enterprises all the time, they have like a download this report. And if you're able to make hay off that with your sales team, great. But just know that if somebody is thinking about requesting a demo or downloading that report, and request a demo is really what's most valuable to you, the likelihood that they're going to request a demo when they go through, fill out a form to download the report, then go off screen into a PDF to read that report, um, they're likely not, they're likely going to lose their train of thought of coming back to you. And the report may take them on more tangents than you want it to. And why not just like integrate that report into your site so it's easier, so they aren't like as sidetracked by downloading the report, figuring out how to open up the PDF, or going back to their email to get the report. All the different points of friction that can be created from that, I think, are unnecessary, and are opportunities for you to create a better user experience for users.
Yeah, for sure. How do you feel about live chat as kind of just being on that page?
Yeah, it was when Drift first came out, live chat was great. People actually were monitoring live chat on a daily basis, on a minute by minute basis. And now I ignore it because so much of it is trying to be automated without a good user experience. Or you you type in to chat with someone and it says response time is usually 20 to 30 minutes for these requests. And I'm like, I'm not sitting with this window open on the site for 20 to 30 minutes. Are you kidding me? So yeah, live chat came onto the scene, it was solving a problem where the data just came out saying that 30% of forms, something 30 to 40% of forms don't get followed up on by the sales team. So
I
live
would agree with
chat
that.
used to be the answer to that, where you had someone live who was there to answer the questions, and then for whatever reason the resources have been pulled back. There are no long, you cannot trust that live chat is going to be a quicker way for you to talk to someone on the sales team, and thus I have just started completely ignoring it.
So the best, yeah, I was going to say the message that I'm hearing to all you new executives, you new marketing CMOs, you new like individual directors of marketing, etc. The throughput of this is the landing page, the intake. It does matter from again to a smaller degree, but it sounds like the larger picture out of this would be process optimization. Like, so if you look at your process optimization throughout the use, like you said, like throughout the user experience, not only from the landing page, but like getting through your sales funnel, like people following up, the 30% of people not following up on form fills and lead gen forms, et cetera, like that, building out that process on the back end, and then optimizing like the landing page and worrying about all that stuff
Yeah.
as a secondary thing.
And again, B2B marketing, B2B conversion rate optimization is not just about the web experience. It is about the whole experience. And that 35% of sales reps not following up on leads is another data point in my favor. I don't like to rub it in, but it is another data point in my favor of look at the whole marketing and sales experience. Look at the prospect experience of, them coming from wherever to your site, to filling out the form, to, looking to get on the phone with the salesperson. Be a secret shopper. Go through the chat experience. If it's really 20 to 30-minute wait times, it's probably not that effective. Even if that message is the one showing up in chat saying it's going to take 20 to 30 minutes for someone to get in touch with you, it's not a good experience.
I'll shout out Alice DeCourcy from Cognism. I'm reading her diary, the marketing CMO diary of a first time CMO. And this is actually on point. Like your validation, your point is she actually sat with the sales team, looked at the user experience, filled out forms, did things, looked at the process going through the funnel. And I think that, like, especially for, again, I'm talking to my aspirational new CMO, like people, like it's great if you come into a company, you're new at the company, and like, don't focus on fixing the website first, fix process back end type deal, go through the experience, understand the experience, and you're gonna have probably a larger impact to your org once you start thinking about it in terms of revenue. Like what's marketing, how can we fix whatever gaps are missing kind of in the process and the revenue generation stuff.
Yeah. Awesome.
I'm learning from you, man.
Well, I love this book. What's the book called? Let's give that a pitch.
It's called Diary of a First Time CMO by Alice DeCourcy. She's at Cognism, and she outlines her process and coming in and understanding, like, these are the things that I thought I would fix, but then, like, once I got in the weeds, I actually needed to fix other things, and like it uncovered a bunch of stuff. And she's super young, so it's really it relates to me a little bit.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out that book. It looks like I've been hearing about Cognism everywhere. So awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that insight. I appreciate you. Anything else we need to cover before we jump off?
No, I think we're good.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you. We're gonna let Quincy. Oh, well, Quincy, you had a new song that was going on Spotify the other day when we were talking.
Yeah, it's coming out June 1st. It's a song that I actually helped co-produce. It's called Statue. So June 1st, by the time you see this, it's gonna be on Spotify. We'll link it below.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, so for those of you who are listening for the first time, the intro music and the music that plays us out is Quincy. He is also a musician, Quincy Forte on Spotify. But this next song is going to be under the Quincy Forte profile on Spotify or no?
No, it's with a music group that I'm writing songs
Okay.
with.
Okay. All right. It will be linked to in the show notes. But appreciate Quincy letting us use this song for the intro and outgoing music.